I want to thank you
Oh,
guys
just let.
very.
Here we go.
Hi.
Here you
Okay.
go. You're live
Hello.
now. Sorry about that.
No problem. Hi,
There you go.
everybody. This is Matt Swinney, and I am so excited to be here today on behalf of Rusk Hair Care, introducing our new styling line. This has been a year and a half in the making, guys, and I am so excited to bring this baby to life for you guys so that you can actually try it in your salons and on your clients. One of the great things about this line is I go through and I style Haley's hair today, which is her birthday, everybody. So give her a big round of internet applause. Yep. And so one of the great things about this line is that it's an impactful, compactful line, meaning that all of these products are going to help you build the styles that you want to achieve without as much fluff as a lot of other product lines, because we all know that the SKUs can get so extremely large within some of these product lines that you get really confused where to go to. So you ultimately end up using four or five of the same things on everybody. So we wanted to take away the thought process of that and really simplify it and give you maximum value within your styling line. So it's Haley's birthday. She's going to go out tonight. So we got to make sure that Haley looks really great. So we're going to do a nice modern twist on kind of this bun situation that's going to sit kind of mid back. We're going to have some lived in textures happening, and I think it's going to be really great. So what we did to prep Haley's hair is we used a little bit of our Smooth and Control. You guys see this? This is a great product that's going to control frizz to up to 72 hours and protect you from outside elements, mixed in with a little bit of the volumizing mousse. Now, this is not your mother's mousse. It's not going to be crunchy, but it's a little bit velvety, but it's still going to give you some great hold. So that's the prep. Then we went through with a 1.5 inch iron just to give it a little bit of body. You guys see that? Not a special curling technique or anything like that. We just wanted to give the hair a little bit of texture. So we're going to come in now, and I'm going to take a little bit of my dry texture spray, and I'm just going to pop that down at the base on Haley's hair. So what that's going to do is that's just going to give me a little bit of grit because Haley's hair is a little bit freshly washed. We want to make sure that we bring in some of that dry texture that we're trying to achieve so we can get that lived in texture. So just go in there and just kind of move it around a little bit just so that we can have a little bit of frothiness happen on the top, and then it will be a little bit tighter on the sides. I think that's something that's really important when we're going through and we're creating these kind of, you know, for lack of a better term, let's call it an event style. We want to make sure that we're setting the hair properly with the products that we want. We're actually building that foundation in a nice way. All right, so we've got a little bit of that dry texture spray down at the base. Give it a little zhuzh. And we're going to section out these front bits because we're going to leave these guys out. So I'm going to come in and I'm just going to slap a clip on it. That way, as we go through and we create our pony in the back to set the bun that we're going to do, it's not going to get in the way and we're not going to hold too much hair. And we've sectioned ourselves nice, even sections here so that when you see her from the front, you're not going to have one triangle that's bigger than the other triangle or something like that. All right, so we're going to turn Haley a little bit to the side here. And we're just going to give it a little bit of a back comb at the base, nothing crazy. One of the things that, when we talk about back combing, I know you guys all have this person in your salon, but that's like that person that wants to come to the back combing Olympics and they just go like this and they just smash the hair down really, really hard. And you're left with just kind of a little bit of fuzzy bits on the end. So what we're trying to do is to keep the density at the end of her hair, but we just want to come in and just pack the base a little bit. So it's just a soft C-shaped motion as we work ourselves through and back comb that top of the head again. So you see we'll come in and it's just a soft C-shaped motion as we come in to help just give almost more of like a natural lift off the head within that volume. We don't want that volume to be like the bigger the hair, the closer to God type volume. What we're looking for is just a little bit of nice natural lift as we go through and create this ponytail in the back. All right, so you can see we've got that hair done. We've got nice little lift happening. And then we're going to switch to a little boar bristle brush. You see we've got it right here. And I'm just going to brush over the top of that just to make sure that we smooth out any backcombing pad, because we just want it to look, again, like we talked about, natural lift from the scalp. Oops. There we go. All right, so now we're going to take Haley's hair and we're going to start just gently grabbing it back with our hands as we start to place where we want this to be. We don't want this to be too contrived as we go through and we do this. So now we're just taking the back of our tail comb and we're just sliding it through, helping us get the hair into the place where we want it. And again, you can see by setting the hair with the mousse and with the anti-frizz serum, it's still very pliable, very moldable. I'm not worried about it being so stiff that I'm actually going to start to create frizz in the hair, because that happens a lot too, guys, when you're working on kind of creating these event styles. It's like you get too much product in the hair to begin with, or too strong of a product, and you actually start to create some internal frizz within that hair as you're working your sections. So now we're going to switch back to that boar bristle. Remember, we want those sides to be a little tighter, a little smoother, but we want that top to have some volume. So just nice brush. You can see when I set that brush in, I'm going to brush along the side of her cheekbone here, right? Because we want that line to follow the cheekbone. That's what becomes and makes these styles look better. And that's why when you look at some ponytails, they look amazing. And when you look at other ponytails, they just kind of look okay. And a lot of that has to do with that line created by the ponytail itself, or by the hair that's going back into the pony. So now I'm going to take my hairspray and I'm just going to hit the underneath section, because remember, we want that top section to be a little frothier and the bottom section to be a little more controlled. So we're just going to hit that with our hairspray. And one of the great things about our new workable hairspray is that it is a drier hairspray, okay? And so what does that mean? So we spend all this time creating these styles and putting the work into these styles, and then we end up putting some sort of like wet hairspray on it. And two things change the way hair sit when you're styling: heat and water. And so if you're using a wet hairspray on a style that you want to be moldable and have a little bit of volume, it can actually have an adverse effect and it can shrink your volume down, okay? So very important that when you're going through and using a hairspray that we're choosing a dry hold hairspray. So now I'm going to take this little cord right here, this little elastic cord. All right, I don't know where you guys are tuning in from, but I can tell you in Minneapolis we get it at this very exotic store. It's called Joanne Fabrique. I don't know if you guys have one where you live, but if you do, it's a great place to grab it. Typically kids make friendship bracelets out of it. And so we're going through and we're just wrapping it around the hair. And then I'm going to take, I've got the two sections right here, okay? So before I lock it in place, I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to look at this top section, make sure that I've got it how I want it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an X with the two strings that are hanging out, right? So I've got a little X here. Tilt your head down. You guys can see that little X. I'm going to go through the hole not one time, but two times. Once, twice, and then I'm just going to cinch the cord down like so. It gets nice and tight. All right, now you can put your head up. And we didn't have to create any knots in Haley's hair. So now we've got this really nice base. I can remove that out. So when I turn Haley around, you guys can see that she has this nice natural volume happening on the top. And if I want to, I can grab the pony and just tug ever so slightly on these and then spray it with hairspray on top now so that we kind of lock that into place. And you can see we're getting this really nice kind of mixture of texture. We've got just a little bit slicker on the sides, a little bit frothier on the top, but it's working together extremely well. All right, so now we're going to take, and we've got this whole ponytail to work with here. It's not very long, but this is what it's great for, right? When you've got these kind of middle length hairdos, creating this ponytail, and all ponytails, let me say this, all ponytails are not created equal, right? So you have to remember like where you place your ponytail makes a big difference. If I'm going to put it up high, she's got herself like a really, really kind of glam ponytail. If I'm going to put it down low, she's got this sporty ponytail. And if I'm going to put it in here, it's just a little bit more playful and it allows you to set up a lot of different things when working with the back and trying to create some sort of, up style, if you will. But you can see this is holding nice and firmly for us, so we don't have to worry about it. I'm going to come in here. Okay, grab that. All right. So now I've got this hair sticking out, like I said. Perfect time, I'm going to bring in this product. Is called our finishing cream. And when you can see on the package itself, it says refine, restyle. So all of our packages are labeled telling you exactly what the product's going to do. So this is going to help refine, also a great restyler on the next day. It's not going to leave the hair greasy, so you can continually apply it to the hair. It's going to help hold textures and it's going to help give you a little bit more texture, but it will not get greasy on the hair. All right, so now comes time to play with the back. Like, what is it that we want to see? So I'm going to come in here. We want this to be very loose, very lived in kind of look. So as you can see, as I go through, I'm twisting the knot, getting it into place, but also not overly complicating what I'm doing with the hair itself. And I'm kind of allowing that hair to take control and tell me what it wants to do. I think that's extremely important when you're dealing with any sort of hairstyling. Like a lot of times the hair is going to tell you what it wants to do, but we spend a lot of time challenging what the hair wants to do. And so we get frustrated when the hair doesn't turn out how we want it to, but also you're not listening to what the hair wants to do. So where the hair wants to poke out, I'm going to allow it to poke out. And then those little bits of texture or little bits of like frothiness that's hanging out is going to give me interesting pieces into this bun, right? So now as I work myself through, one thing that you always want to remember to do anytime we're using pins, I say this all the time, crisscross applesauce. So if I put one pin in, I put two pins in and I cross those pins. There's one. So currently we have 3 pins in Haley's hair, right? So we've got 3 pins in Haley's hair. Coming in, crisscross, applesauce, cross that pin, slide it in, see where we're at. Oh, now we're looking cool. Look at that. Look how easy that is. I think, a lot of these styles become very effortless when you actually listen to the hair. It's when you're trying to create a lived-in look, but you're trying to overdo that lived-in look. That's when you end up struggling and the hair ends up being too polished or too styled. And so it doesn't necessarily give you what you envisioned in the first place. So now I'm just going to
Hey,
add a
Matt,
couple. Yes,
I'm loving the way this is looking. I just wanted to ask a couple questions.
got you.
So this is a brand new styling line, right? So what is the
Correct.
main thing you want our viewers to know while we have them today?
Yeah, so like I said, Rust's new styling line is something that's going to be super impactful in a small package, meaning you're not going to have this massive kind of buy-in to give it a shot. I think that's something that's really important. We've taken out a lot of the BS, if that makes sense, right? I think that a lot of times when companies are doing product launches, you're inundated with product, and I think that that gets overwhelming. Number two, these products are good for anybody. So very multicultural with the hair textures that these products can play with. And I think that that's also something that's really important. We wanted it to be a line because we notice and we see now in the world of hair, when you work behind the chair, so many different hair textures coming in, right? Because of the way the world is today. And so you have to be able to manage those hair textures without having 5,000 products to do it. So make sure that we can kind of create that really perfect palette for you to style any texture. And I think that that is also something that is extremely important to understand. And then lastly, it's very, very pleasing that it says, oops, there we go, exactly what it's going to do on the bottle. So that's nice for you and that's nice for your consumer. So you know that if you grab the dry texture spray, you can expect to get body and texture. You know that if you grab our beautiful blow dry balm, a nice blow dry elixir, prep and protect. This is going to prep your hair and protect your hair from daily elements. And so by having those words written on front of the package, it just becomes a much easier purchase for the client coming in and a much easier decision for you to make when you're choosing what products to use on a client. Okay, so now this is looking really good, guys. We're getting some nice movement out of our little bun. Now I'm going to come in and I'm just going to tug on it ever so slightly, right? And you'll notice that as we go through here, like we talked about earlier, you know, you want to have products that are going to allow you to continually style the hair. Not just when you're doing event styles, but when you're doing daily styles, right? Just your normal run-of-the-mill styles. Because I don't know about you, but I know that my clients do multiple things in one day. So they might wake up, they might hit the gym, have the hair in the ponytail, then they might go to work and they might need to put the hair down, then they might go to book club a little later and then they want to freshen it up for, their friends. And so there's all these different kind of hats, if you will, that my clients wear in one day. And I think it's really important to be able to help your clients kind of cover those hats on a daily basis. All right, so you can see that I put my comb in there and I'm using my comb to put the hair where I want it. And I'm sliding my pin. Let's do it this way so they can actually see. All right, so you see I've got the comb in there like that. All right, let's go around here. So I'm actually using the comb to hold the hair where I want it. See, I just slide it in there and then I trail my comb with the clip or with the pin, excuse me, and slide it in. And then when I pull the comb out, I've trailed into the exact section that I want to be in, right? And so you can see as we're working ourselves through here, we're getting a really, really fun shape on this. I might take this, make it just a little bit less. Yeah, I'm going to push that up like that. And that's the thing when you're doing any kind of long hair, any kind of event style, or any kind of, going out Friday night style. You want to take a step back every once in a while and just take a look and see where you're at, right? So coming in, sliding our clip in, pin in. I don't know why I keep calling them clips. Slide the pin in, set that. What do we know about our pins? Crisscross, applesauce. So you got to cross your pins as we work ourselves through in order to make sure that everything's fully secure. Great. So now we have a few pieces of interest happening. So you see I've got this little thing here. I've got a little bit right here and a little bit right there. So we've got multiple kind of sources of fun stuff happening. So if we turn her to the side, turn Haley to the side, she's looking good. Now we're going to bring it to the front. And now we're going to work on these front bits. We want these front bits to be nice and shiny and kind of sleek. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of our semi-matte pomade. You can see that right there. So what does that say on it? It says texturize, define, texturize, define. Oops. Texturize, define. So we're looking to define these sections. And so this is a great choice in that scenario. So I'm going to work the section, work the product in my hands.
Hey, Matt.
Yes.
So you said that there were 8 products in the line.
Yes.
Do you have a standout or go-to product?
So for me, right, because of what I do, I think the number one product when you're coming in and you're trying a new line is you're going to want to try the hairspray. And then you're going to want to try something in the blow dry sector, right? So you're going to want to try, I would personally go anti-frizz serum or hairspray. Those would be my go-tos. Both really, really lovely products. Again, like we talked about, that dry hairspray, extremely important. You can see how what we just did just tamed. When we talk about define, I mean, look at the definition on those sections. Super great. Okay, so we got these nice and defined, these front bits how we want them. Get them down just to this nice little point, put a little extra product on the ends. And look, I don't even have to go through and like spray these super hard with hairspray. I don't have to go and set these. I just use a little bit of the semi-matte pomade in order to control what we're looking for. So now we're going to come in and we want to expose a little bit of these, flyaways, if you will, right? So I'm going to spray them with a little bit of hairspray. I actually need to blow dry it the other way, so I'll blow dry. So I'm going to use my blow dryer. I'm going to put it on low. I'm going to hit that section. I'm going to start to move it in the direction that I want to move it in. And then I'm going to hit it with the hairspray as I blow dry. And you can see that starts to give me this little kick out. So she's got these little points of interest happening inside this updo. And I think that that's really, really fun. It gives it a little bit of life, makes it very modern and fresh. I know that what we talked kind of about festival hair. It's very, very festival-y. I think anytime, if you see anyone with this kind of hair, I think it was very cool, right? So now what we're going to do is I'm going to use the tail part of my comb, and I'm going to come in and I'm just going to clean up anything that I may have missed or whatever. See, we've got one hair because she's got a little bit shorter hair in the back, so I'm going to come in here. I'm going to use my tail comb, get it up, a little hairspray, and then I'm going to finish it off with the can like this, right? Now, two reasons that I like to use the can. Number one, keeps the hands clean. And number two, the hair won't stick to the can, right? So if the hairspray stuck to the can, then the hairspray would never come out of the can. But the hairspray will definitely stick to your hands. And so you might end up pulling out. I know we've all had that experience where we think we're making something really, really nice and smooth. And then all of a sudden that product sticks to our hands and we start pulling out the hair and we have to redo those sections, right? All right, so now I want to show you guys something here. So if you feel ever like when you're doing event styles and you feel like you have a gap or anything, you can take your tail comb, slide it on the scalp, and then slide it back underneath, and it will start to smooth out any gap that you don't want to see. So you slide the tail comb directly onto the scalp, and then you just slide underneath, pushing that hair back, helping to get it into the right direction. Let me do this side. Or if you get any like lumps and bumps, this is a great way to get rid of a lump and bump too. You just slide that tail comb right against the scalp and it helps push that hair back. Another thing that you want to think about too when you're dealing with any kind of like event style or whatever is that you want to make sure that you have great balance. So your mirror is your friend when you're doing event styles, and you'll notice like if I'm doing something behind the chair, I'm consistently turning the style around, left to right, right to left, in order to make sure that it is exactly where I want it to be, right? So again, give it a little spray.
This is
I
looking
might
so
take,
good.
doesn't she look good? You want to do your hair like this, don't you?
Yeah.
For Coachella next year or something. All right, so now I'm gonna take a little bit more of that matte pomade, really rub it in my hands, and then I'm just gonna do a slight pushback just on the sides. One of the things that I think that is really important when you're doing kind of these event styles is that you do mix and match textures, right? So it's good to have, sometimes, don't get me wrong, sometimes it's good to have like an ultra sleek pony or anything like that. But it is Haley's birthday, and when she came in this morning, she goes, I just want to make sure that I have a little bit of length on the top because then if I don't, I feel like I'm kind of bald. So, because a lot of times when I do Haley's hair, I'll make it really tight. And so being that it's her birthday, I wanted to listen. And so this is a great way to compromise. We get this nice kind of sleek back side, which shows off Haley's cheekbones really, really well, right? She's got amazing cheekbones. So it slides in with the cheekbones, but then gives her the height that she's looking for so she still feels like she has hair. And so it's about listening in that consultation and making sure that you put in what you think is great, mixed in with what the client is really, really looking for and their comfort zone or where they feel the most attractive. All right, so now I want to hit it with that hairspray just to give it a nice feel of the deal.
All right, I have another question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
So I know there are 4 key ingredients in these products. So what are the benefits of those?
Right. So basically, what you can realize when you're talking about Rusk Hair Care in our styling line, what we're going to do is we're going to help revitalize your hair, right? And so we've got caffeine in our products, and that caffeine is going to help restore shine. It's going to help bring back the natural vitality, of your hair. We have the Sim Restore Complex, and the Sim Restore Complex is basically going to help deliver that kind of full, healthy shine in the hair. So it's going to come back to its natural luster, it's going to have great shine, and it's going to reflect light. And I think that that's something that's really important because even when you're talking about color and you're talking about all these things, like all of it is a reflection of light. And so by sealing the hair properly with your products and allowing that hair to naturally reflect light, it's going to naturally look shinier, and healthier. We have Fanthol and niacinamide, and we're going to help minimize breakage. We're going to help fix your broken ends. And ultimately, our goal with our products is to help restore your hair to its best possible self. Because we all know that we do so many things chemically to our hair these days. And so when you're dealing with your hair products, you want to make sure that that hair product is helping assist bringing your hair back to its natural vitality. And so I think that that's something that's really, really special about what we're doing, also with the compactness of the line and the value that you receive from just 8 products, right? So with 8 products, I can create any style. One of the things that was really important to me when we were building this product line is that I do a lot of photo shoots, and a lot of people don't use on the photo shoot what they use in the salon, right? They have their little bag and they've got special products in their bag. And I thought it was important for me to actually use the products that I'm making and be able to use them in the photo shoots as well. And so it's transferable to both sides of my life. And so I wanted to be very transparent about that because I don't think that that's, as transparent in the industry as it could be. And so I wanted to keep it simple. I wanted to keep it strong, and I wanted to deliver healthy, great, beautiful hair on all levels for all types of hair. So let's turn Haley around and give you guys a 360 view of that. So stop her here real quick. You can see we've got that really nice bun. And remember how short Haley's hair is and how it looks like she's got like some good hair going on there? Like it looks like she has a whole lot more hair than she actually does. Let's give you guys a little bit of an aerial view on that. You guys can see that. How good that's looking. You can really see those front pieces, how they're reflecting shine. They're nice, stuck together. Zero hairspray on those guys. Zero hairspray. All done with our lovely semi-matte pomade right here. All right. Does anyone in the comments have any questions for me? These 8 products are going to be available on rustpro.com. It's a great source to get your products. I highly recommend that you try them out. Not only are you going to get great products, but it's going to open the doorway for you into a lot of, backroom videos that we've done. You've got color techniques from Gina Bianca and from KTV Hair and Kate DeTillo. All of us do great work behind and for the back room. And then not to mention you have access to the back room, but you also have direct access to myself anytime. You can just DM me. It's matt.swinney. I am here to answer all of your questions and help you grow as a stylist. If I'm not doing that, I'm not doing my job. So I will respond to you and I will help guide you, in this hairdressing journey, whatever it may be and whatever your questions may be. But again, you can find us at ruskpro.com. These products are ready for pre-order, and I'm telling you, like, make the small investment, take the Pepsi challenge, because I know that a lot of people might have kind of an idea of what Rusk is, but we consider ourselves to be an open-minded group of individuals. And so I'm asking you to keep an open mind and try these out, because I'm telling you, you're going to be floored with the results that you achieve with these styling products.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. Everybody's just dropping hearts in the comments, so you don't really have questions. I think they loved this. Guys, you can go back and rewatch this as many times as you want, and there's going to be a recap article going through all of this for you posted in the comments. So thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, you too.